this is all about me. Me, me, me. I remember growing up on Wealthy Street near Madison, and we were in a fourplex unit, and I have some memories. I did go to kindergarten at Vandenberg, so I must have been 5 or 6. I have an early memory of eating at the Schnitzelbank, and those of you that know me know how I love food, so you're probably not surprised that one of my early memories would be about food. And I remember my mom taking me down to the museum, and I remember loving the mastodon, which was on display, if those of you that remember, was at the end of Bird Hall. And of course, like so many people growing up in Grand Rapids, I loved Mammal Hall, and I did enjoy Rock and Mineral Hall. And that room that later became the classroom, they used to show movies and films and do classes out of there, and I remember taking classes at the museum. And those are some of my early memories of the public museum. And my father bought a business on Burton Street, Robert's Pharmacy, and my sister and I lived, the whole family lived upstairs of the store, so my sister and I grew up working in the store. But all during that time, we would take trips down to the public museum. So, and we were active with the YWCA also, so downtown, even though we had moved to Burton Heights, was still a big part of our life. Later, when I went to college, I went to Michigan State and got a Bachelor of Science degree in anthropology, and went right on to Western after that for a master's in anthropology. I started volunteering at the museum at that time. It was probably January or so of 1978. And I was volunteering in the collections department, which at that time was located on State Street, and that building's no longer standing. But I did enjoy working in that department. That's where I first met Sue Stubbs. And we worked together for a while till an opening came up in the scheduling office. So I was interviewed by Kay Zuras and Gordon Olson and got that position, and the rest is history. I do want to take time to thank Kay Zuras for her, well, one, for hiring me, but also for encouraging me to finish my master's. I had done all the coursework, but I had failed to write the dissertation. So Kay encouraged me, and letters from the university saying that I would start losing credits encouraged me, and Kay allowed me a month off to go write my master's dissertation. So I returned to Kalamazoo, did that, got my master's degree, and another thing that I'm thankful for Kay about is teaching me the value of organization. Of course, some of you are asking yourselves, I've seen your office, but that's a whole nother thing. But thank you, Kay, for teaching me the value of organization, and also thank you for introducing me to cemetery studies. Early on, I was teaching summer classes at the museum, and she had suggested I do a class on cemetery studies, and I have to tell you, at first I thought, what is she, nuts? But it ended up a subject that I ended up very interested in, and I kind of have a lifelong interest in, and somewhere there's a joke there, I'm sure, about having a lifelong interest in cemeteries. But anywho, I would also like to thank Mr. Frankfurter and Gordon Olson, and the countless volunteers who give so willingly of themselves. They all demonstrate such a desire and such a concern and commitment to the community. It's just unbelievable. I'd also like to thank Norma Raby. She was working at the Public Museum when I started, and she encouraged me to learn more about wildflowers. And you know, this is not a wildflower, but there are some out here. And she also encouraged me to photography, and that's something I'm very thankful of. She was quite an inspiration, as is Mary Jane Dockery. Mary Jane, her enthusiasm, her interest in lifelong learning and teaching is truly inspirational. And now to a place I've been dying to go to. Welcome to Fulton Street Cemetery. Those of you that have been with the museum a while remember that we had a 3rd through 5th grade program, that we did programs here at Fulton Street Cemetery teaching area school children all about history and nature. Isn't it beautiful here? I love this place. Some of the programs I have enjoyed working on over the years, I'd say in the early years I had a blast doing the docent training programs, because every week a different topic, and we had a lot of fun and gaiety learning about different topics that we were offering programs in at the museum. Of course, the docents and volunteers help make that a blast, but thank you. And then another thing I've enjoyed doing is Discovery Day Camp. And between day camp and overnights, I can't tell you how many shirts I've helped silk screen, but I know there's a lot of people around town with day camp and overnight t-shirts. And overnights, boy, I bet you I hold the record at the museum for overnights. I must have done at least 50 overnights at the museum, and I'd like to see that record broke. So maybe somebody in the future will be doing an equal number, if not more, overnights. And something else, you'll notice I have my junk food vest on, and I have this on because I wear this when I'm selling concessions at the Classic Film Series, and that has been another program I've enjoyed working on very much over the years. So I've also worn many different hats while working at the Public Museum, from scheduling coordinator to associate curator, and a couple times acting assignment as head of the education department while we were in transition and or budget cuts. And one of those times with budget cuts, I was sent out to Blandford Nature Center as site manager for a year and a half. And boy, that was a marvelous experience. And I think probably the biggest memory from that, and the thing I'm most thankful for, was the opportunity to meet and work with their volunteers out at Blandford. Another tremendous group of volunteers that keep volunteering year after year after year. So in essence, I guess the best thing about the museum has always been and will always be working with a very diverse group of volunteers, and I thank you. For myself, I'd like to thank the museum board for approving my early retirement. I would also like to thank family and friends, my sister and niece Stacy, countless volunteers, and I'd like to say how much I enjoyed working for the education department, and that wacky group that we had, Manny, Janet, Joyce, Gina, I don't know. Anyway, again, thank you to all the volunteers, all the docents. I love you.